If you're interested in smelling like an absolute gentleman, I have quite the list for you today, because in today's Cafleurebon contributor video, we're going to be going over 10 amazing Father's Day recommendations. These are fragrances that leave you smelling very classy, refined, and sophisticated. I'm excited to get on with this list and also let you know about a special giveaway opportunity, so make sure to stay tuned. Now, before I begin today's video and I tell you about these 10 gentlemanly fragrances that would also make amazing Father's Day recommendations, I do want to start things off by mentioning that if you are a fan of fragrance-related content, please do consider supporting the channel by subscribing to it. Hit that bell icon so you can be notified every time I do upload a future video to the channel. And of course, make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video or if you take something of value from today's episode. Now, if you're interested in entering for your chance to win a bottle of one of the many eligible fragrances in this list, all you have to do is shoot on over to cafleurebon.com. It's going to be the first link in the description below. And after you've read the article, and after you become a registered reader, just leave a comment and you'll be automatically entered to win. So good luck. Make sure to read through the article carefully so you know which giveaway prize ships where. And I'm wishing you all luck. I hope you win. And these are 10 amazing Father's Day recommendations, great fragrances for that special someone in your life. If you want something from a variety of different price ranges, but something that's going to leave that gentleman in your life smelling unquestionably sophisticated, chic, and refined. Let's go ahead and start things off with a fragrance I recently reviewed. This one by Jacques Fath is called Le Loden. Now, this fragrance is green in nature, as you can tell, and that's because this is a vetiver-based fragrance. So you're going to get vetiver, artemisia as well. So it has a little bit of like a spicy and aromatic touch to it. Very classy, actually opens up on the darker side of things, so it might remind you a little bit of Sycamore by Chanel or Encre Noir by Lalique, but this is a good one. If you haven't tried Le Loden by Jacques Fath, this is definitely an upscale, refined fragrance. The clean vetivers would be like a Roja vetiver, and this is definitely more on the darker side of things, but it warms down to something very clean and tranquil, and I think you're going to enjoy it. The next fragrance on this list is for the gentleman in your life who wants something a little bit more on the fresh and citrusy side of things. This one by Milano Fragranze is called Naviglio. Now, this one is inspired by the Naviglio Grande, which is a canal that is 31 miles long, and it's located in Milan. And this canal is a place where a lot of the blue-collar workers in Italy would go and wash their clothes, and they would line the perimeter of the canal. And so basically with this fragrance, you have a soap accord with neroli. It smells amazing. I truly love this one. I've reviewed this one as well. So if you would like to search up my review of that, you may. And then of course, we have one by a brand that I've covered already a few times on the channel. The brand is Les Jardins Retrouvé, and the fragrance is called Bois Tabac Virginia. The name says it all. You have woods, you have tobacco. It's very smooth yet mature and sophisticated. The tobacco really brings out that layer of sophistication, and the woods are very grounded, very resolute. So if you're concerned about longevity as well, this is one that's going to get you very good longevity. The next fragrance on this list, everything this brand has put out so far has been very classy and elegant. And this one by Naughton and Wilson is called Gravitas Pour Homme. And of course, this is the brand of Dan, Mr. Smelly, here on YouTube. And this fragrance is a really powdery barbershop lavender fragrance. If you're a fan of the fougere genre and you want to smell like a gentleman from the 70s and 80s with that powdery, citrusy lavender aroma. If you like fragrances like Invasion Barbare by Parfums MDCI, or if you like maybe Heritage by Guerlain, you're gonna love this fragrance. I truly love it. I think it's an outstanding fragrance. And of course, they also have a subsequent release called Bon Vivre. That one is also very elegant and chic and classy, and I really love what this brand is doing. The next fragrance also has a lot of class and distinction to it. This is a little bit more on the pricey side of things because it's by the brand Roja Parfum, and the fragrance is called Scandal. Now this is the Parfum Cologne concentration, and I just love how green and citrusy this fragrance is. As a matter of fact, if you're a fan of fragrances like Eau Sauvage by Dior, the original, you're gonna love this one. Very classy, elegant, and it's a lot fresher than some of the other fragrances on this list. Some of them are gonna be very oak moss driven, as you'll see very soon. This one actually has that characteristically fresh citrus in the opening, so I personally love it as a more versatile fragrance and one that I find myself wearing with much more frequency than some of the other fragrances in my collection. Now, the next fragrance is incredibly versatile, and this is the benchmark compliment getter from the list, and this one by Parfum de Marly is called Percival. So this is a modern lavender. It's a lavender that's icy and a little minty, and it has that modern sophistication to it. Doesn't smell antiquated in any way. Of course, lavender can be done in a few different fashions, as we already saw with Gravitas Pour Homme. This one is very bright and enthusiastic, kind of resembles Mont Blanc's Legend or Fierce by Abercrombie & Fitch, but it's done in a very niche way, very upscale, and very expensive smelling as well. I love Percival by Parfum de Marly, would make a great Father's Day recommendation. And then we also have Mousse Illuminée by Rogue Perfumery. I had the pleasure of chatting with Manny Cross a few times. He's the perfumer and founder of the brand. This is such a long-lasting and enduring oak moss fragrance. It has a lot of green elements, a little animalic at times as well. But this is for the father or the gentleman in your life who is familiar with the way that fragrances performed in the 70s and 80s. If you're familiar with fragrances like Quorum by Antonio Puig, or if you're a fan of fragrances like the original Polo Green by Ralph Lauren, these Rosendo Mateo and Carlos Benaim fragrances, this has the weight and the sturdiness of those fragrances. I truly love this one. Super elegant, super refined, definitely a blast from the past, although it's not as old as those fragrances, but it sort of activates the memory of what those fragrances were like when they lasted a long time and they did incredibly well on the skin. And with that, we're left with the top three. Of course, these could be in any order. It really all depends on my personal taste and how I'm feeling on any given day, but I personally love all 10 of these fragrances. The next one by Inica is called Daring Do. Now this fragrance is a watery cedarwood magnolia type of a fragrance. So this one is very fresh, very modern, but it also has a little bit of a floral presence that doesn't smell feminine in any way. It actually leans more on the unisex side of things. And so if you want a fragrance that smells a bit fresher, a bit more contemporary, Daring Do is a great way to go. Percival is a great way to go. And in many ways, Navillo is a great way to go. If you want something that smells classy, something that is evocative of some of the fragrances from decades ago, you want to go with Scandal, you want to go with Mousse Illuminée, you want to go with Gravitas Pour Homme. The fragrance in the number 2 spot by Florist London is called German Street. This fragrance also has a lot of vetiver in it, but it's fresh. So this is not on the darker side of things. This is a very clean vetiver. Not as clean as like a Creed's original vetiver, but it has this very bright and lively personality about it. And the vetiver in here is so well done. At times it also smells citrusy and soapy, and it has this very professional demeanor about it. When you're dressed up and you want something that complements the freshness of your wardrobe, German Street by Florist London, I called it the fragrance fit for a gentleman. You can watch my review of that as well. And that brings us to the number 1 spot. This fragrance is a love for me. I remember trying this fragrance at a boutique in Soho in Manhattan about a decade ago, and I fell in love with it ever since, and I knew eventually I would have a bottle of it in my collection. This fragrance by Nikolai is none other than New York Intense. This fragrance has it all. It has the bergamot, it has the citron, it has the oak moss, it has a lot of other classy masculine ingredients. I know people have compared it to so many other classy gentlemen's fragrances that were released throughout the years but this one is long lasting. It's very classy, very natural smelling, and just carries that layer of sophistication about it. I truly love not just the original, but I also really love New York Intense, which is the fragrance that I'm spotlighting in today's video. And I am going to make this my signature scent for the remainder of the week, because when you just want something that will perform off your skin, something that is enduring, something that leaves you smelling like the best smelling person in the room, and something that just exudes class. New York Intense. If you have a chance to try this, I'm going to leave links down below, but if you have a chance to try this fragrance, don't miss your opportunity to sample it. Very timeless and elegant. And listen, all of these fragrance recommendations are, I think, amazing for that gentleman in your life. And as you look them up, you'll see that there's a variety of different price ranges for all of these fragrances. Some are on the more inexpensive side of things. 10 fragrances that are completely gentlemanly in nature and smell. I hope you have an opportunity to enter the draw. Once again, first link in the description. Thank you so much for watching. Love you guys, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.